All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So today, I am, once again, bringing on another new guest co-host. Before we get started, I just want to remind the loyal listeners to thank you again for obviously subscribing, for going on almost 3 years of podcasting for Live the Fuel. For the newer listeners, please subscribe. That's all I got to say. I don't advertise. I don't bring on people to interrupt the show. This will be completely unscripted as always, unedited, and we're going to be keeping it real. So let me give you the skinny on our latest guest co-host. So this gentleman has a bit of an obsession, from what I can tell, about rejection. So I can't wait to dig into it deeper. But the founder of adventuresinrejection.com, just to throw the domain out there right away, he came to me thanks to a little connection through Andrea Waltz. She was recently on the show. And the whole go for no concept. And just give me a little more background on the guy. You know, he listened to a couple of our podcasts as well, heard about me chatting about the Carnivore Diet. So he's not a stranger to that, whether you want to talk about keto or paleo or carnivore. Listen, people, you talk about health, business, and lifestyle on the show, just choose the healthy path. Stop eating the manufactured crap. I'm sure he and I will get into that a little bit more. But he did it back in January of this year, 2019, lost 12 pounds. But I can't wait to geek out a little bit about this whole bad versus good cholesterol. There's points, tracking, everything else. But without further ado, Leo Quinn, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks, Scott. Disappointed to be here. I was hoping to get a no, but I got a yes.
Well, hey, actually it was a delayed yes, so that kind of falls under your rejection goals, right?
Right. You were in the maybe category for a little while, yes.
Yeah, my team had reached out to me because I have a team now. I have VAs. I don't want employees. I'm too busy for that, so I just hired VAs. It's more flexible. Right. But especially if they suck, I can just move on to the next one. But they're like, oh, I've been so unplugged and plugged back in. I mean, I got married this year. I was traveling in Canada for 2 weeks. It's been crazy. So when you reached out, I mean, I usually try and definitely jump on ones that are referred from past co-hosts too. Mm-hmm. So I was really surprised. I was like, how did we miss that? So I think I messaged you directly, or I had them jump back to you right away and say, hey, get the book. Yep. But adventuresinrejection.com. Why?
Yes, sir. Why?
Well, why and when, actually? When did you decide, when were you inspired to fire this puppy up?
May 23rd this year.
Oh, this is fresh.
Ooh. Yes, fresh. And I was looking through old tweets that I had liked. And I saw one from Andrea Waltz, the co-author of Go for No, and it was, I can achieve every goal and reach every dream by simply hearing no more often. And I had been looking for a summer project. And I bought that book 11 years ago.
Wow.
I love the book. I recommend it all the time. I've recommended it multiple times a year for 11 years. I've just never bitten the bullet, developed the courage to get my own no's. So I decided that I was going to do that this summer. I call it my summer of 1,000 no's. Coming up with the number, I figured 100 was too easy. One a day was too easy, but 1,000 made me nervous. So on May 23rd, I decided I was going to do the summer of 1,000 no's.
Well, as a marketing professional and a sales professional, I get it, because that's one of the secrets of success in building a sales career is getting through as many no's as possible. I mean, if you're a younger up and coming, like we try and influence the millennial and what's the next generation, Z, or I don't know, I lose track. All these new gens.
Yes.
No, listen in, listeners. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'll save Leo the bad press. Everybody's turning into a bunch of pussies. I'm just going to throw it right out there. Okay. People need to toughen up, get a thicker skin, and learn to embrace rejection. Now, the harshness aside, let's soften it a little bit, because apparently people need that.
That's
right.
Where
am I going with that, Leo? Okay. Where am I going with that?
Where are you going with?
The whole thickening of the skin. Like why do people think that all these younger generations are a little softer? Which I'm not saying that they are. I'm actually saying that there's some really motivated people out there, but I think a lot of people more and more nowadays are afraid of rejection.
Absolutely. We're just concerned with what people think of us.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
We care too much about what other people think.
Right.
But why, Leo?
I have no idea. That's above my pay grade. I just know that's everybody likes to be liked. Mm-hmm. In this day of social media where you can be anonymous and to say horrible things about people, I guess people don't want to face that.
But that's a choice, isn't it?
It is. Everything's a choice, yeah.
But I choose to not bash and thrash people on social media.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough people doing that, as you just kind of hinted at.
Right.
I prefer to push motivational, inspirational content. I've talked about on past shows. That's what got me to create Live the Fuel. It stood for Live the Fired Up Epic Life. My first launch wasn't even a website. I launched a Facebook page and started pushing motivational quotes, inspirational content. Mm-hmm. And that's how it really kind of got me at least thinking about where I wanted to take this new brand. And that was 2014.
Okay.
So,
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Podcast wasn't even an idea yet. So.
Right.
But see, again, we do have a choice, don't we?
We do. Absolutely. And I chose for 11 years to recommend the book and extol the virtues of the book, but I never chose to actually do what it suggests.
So hands down, Go for No, would you really kind of relate this as like the platform? Like this was like the core of what kind of got you going, and really,
Absolutely.
There's a lot of other great books out there. Let's be real. I mean,
yes.
there is. But I like the fact that you chose a single, we'll call it platform, to really get started on, because let's be real. There's a lot of influencers out there. There's a lot of authors. There's a lot of content. And I think we're all triggered by a lot of them, but clearly this one spoke to you more than anything else.
And I'll tell you why. There's a story in the book about an insurance company that hired a consultant to tell them why they weren't selling enough insurance.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this is a true story or part of the fable of the book, but the story was the consultant said, "You're just not talking to enough people." He loaded a bunch of insurance agents up on a bus, took them to a neighborhood where they didn't know anybody, told them on the bus, "You're to go to every door, knock on the door, and when someone comes to the door, you're to say, 'You don't want to buy any life insurance, do you?'" And that was their instruction. And they went from 1 or 2 sales a month to 1 or 2 a day, just by talking to enough people, by saying less to more people, as a guy named Ray Higdon would say. So that made me laugh. That story made me laugh. And I'm, at heart, if you say that's a great idea and laugh at my jokes, I'm going to be your best friend. So doing something like that made me laugh. And that's what really made me like that book even more. Just the thought that I could say something like that to make people laugh as they were rejecting me.
I do like the story. Now, only because I'm further down the timeline and I've now trained and coach a lot of other sales professionals on this type of stuff. That made sense. I got you 110%, hands down. If you want to soften the approach and make it easier to collect the no's to get faster to the yeses, great way to do it. You come in that's a softball. All right. You're just tossing a softball in. You're not coming in full court press. Right. The issue I have with that is that in a big picture scheme of things, and now that you've gone further on your timeline, your goal of 1,000 no's, there's a psychological impression when you come across other people. There's a confidence that you exude that attracts people to you. And that comes through the rejection process. But hands down, if you come in and say, "Well, you don't want to buy some life insurance, do you?" Like, I've already lost confidence in who the hell you are. But granted, I like where they went with that on that story, because if I'm dealing with a rookie, okay, I gotta at least let them start a little soft, because they haven't built up that thick skin. Full circle back to my point. The skin's not even been, beat up a little bit. It hasn't gotten tough enough. Hasn't gotten calloused.
Right.
Let's talk about some of your calluses. So are you over 536 yet on the nose?
539 actually. Yes.
Boom.
Got three extra ones today. Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this. I mean, this will go out in the next couple of weeks. So you'll be airing probably in August. So we're recording this towards the end of July. So you're already, because when you actually applied to come on the show, I think it was 536. You were on the way to 536.
No, that was the date today. I was at 320 something when I first reached out to you. So I'm 200 down the line.
That was the first reach out to me. Okay.
Yes.
But when you finally scheduled, I think you were at number 536 according to your notes here. So.
Well, I was looking ahead because I have it on my calendar what number I should be on each day. So I knew I'd be recording it on Monday, so I knew I'd be at 536.
Lock and loading it on the calendar as well. All right. A little bit of a little OCD. I like that.
I just want to know how I had to, starting when I did, I had to average 12 a day to get to 1,000 by the end of August.
Wow. So people hearing this, what are some examples? How are you going about it besides just reaching out to crazy podcasters like myself? what are some of the examples of how you're trying to get these different kinds of no's?
Well, the first one I got, the first ever, was I have a dent in the back of my car, and I called an auto body shop, or I sent the pictures to the auto body shop I've used before. And he called me and said it's going to be $2,000 to $2,500. And before he called, I checked to see his web presence and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't own the domain name that is his company name. He doesn't have any social media presence at all. So I asked him if he'd be interested in trading. I'd set all that up for him and run it for him for 6 months in exchange for fixing my bumper. And he said, "Nah, I don't want to do that. I want to sell the business. It's not profitable anymore. So that was my first no.
Who's going to buy a not profitable business that doesn't even control their brand online?
Right. Exactly. So that was my first no. And that was an easy no. I sort of knew the guy. After that, I've got a marketing company as well. I can do a lot for companies, but I decided I wanted something quick and easy with a ton of prospects, because I knew that I would have to make a lot of phone calls to talk to the right person.
Okay.
I've done enough prospecting in my life to know that the business owner is behind a gate and it's hard to get to them. So I chose pizza shops at the start and offering text message marketing, because it really helps. It can really help a pizza shop.
Okay.
So that's what I started. And I've done, I've gotten hundreds of, 200 or 300 no's just from pizza shops. And it's been a very relatively pleasant experience. I've had one F-bomb dropped on me.
Wow.
Only one. Lots of hang-ups, lots of no thank yous, not interested. Most people are very polite and nice. I've had one poor lady. It was an older lady, I could tell. I called. Someone picked up. There was no noise. I said hello, and she said, "Leave me alone." All I said to her was hello. So she had obviously she had gotten the phone number,
or your long
distance or something. It still seemed to be online, because I went right online to see if the pizza shop was still in business, and it seemed to be. And I didn't dial the number. I checked the number. I dialed it correctly, but this poor lady was having a horrible day.
Clearly, I mean.
But other than that, it's been a relatively easy and fun experience. I know now that it takes me an hour and a half to get my 12 no's a day, calling the retail niche like that. But it hasn't been nearly as scary as I thought it would be.
So because of so you have your own consultancy, right? You do your own independent marketing. Yeah. Mostly marketing, or agency, or sales as well?
No, just marketing.
Just marketing. Okay. And you've done that since the 90s?
I started a carpet cleaning business with my finance degree from college.
Okay.
Studied marketing since then, and got a lot of great ideas. But I don't want to own a pizza shop. I don't want to own a restaurant. I have a lot of great ideas to help them, but I just don't want to own them.
No, I'm not a brick and mortar business fan. I'm very digital. So right. I mean, my wife owns a brick and mortar. Well, she doesn't really need the brick and mortar business. She's a veterinary practice, but
that's right.
But they're completely mobile, ambulatory. So really, they just have the office to keep the drug enforcement agency happy, because they got to keep their veterinary drugs under lock and key.
Okay.
But they're like completely mobile. All 3 doctors, they go out to the horse farms and do their thing. So I don't know. I mean, they're from, well, she got educated up. You're from Albany, New York area, right?
Yes, near Saratoga. Yes.
So I'm up there. I'm up there like every 3 months.
How are you?
Oh yeah. One of my biggest clients is in the HVAC industry, and I help her grow a lot of her business growth across all of upstate New York.
Okay.
And I love visiting Saratoga. It's beautiful.
Particularly this time of year, it's horse racing season.
Oh no, I don't go there then. If I do, I stay outside the area, because the hotel costs are just ridiculous.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, horse racing market is alive and well up there. Let me tell you.
It is. Knock on wood.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just saying, because I profiled you through LinkedIn. That's how I got to dig in more about you. And
not much there
either. People. Like, hey guys, like, you have to exist. If you want to exist, go on LinkedIn. That site is so SEO rich for keywords. You can find anybody and everything on there.
Right,
so,
right.
I don't know if you've ever done that for your nose. So
I haven't.
You should try that. You exist. So
yes.
But so that's how I knew you at least had your own business since for 20 plus years, right?
Yes,
so yeah. So Siena College.
That's it.
Where is that?
In Albany, right outside Albany, Loudonville, New York. We have a good basketball team every 4 or 5 years. Make it to the tournament. Sometimes win a game or two. So it's a.
Let me ask you. Mm-hmm. You did a BS in finance.
That's right.
Was that torturous?
No, the hard part was the accounting. The accounting 3 and 4 was tough. I got a 20 on my first accounting 3 test.
Isn't that god awful?
Yeah.
Because I did business. I did a BS as well, but I ended up finishing in marketing. But I had to take advanced accounting courses. Yeah. And I have so much respect for my accountant and bookkeepers who, for some reason, enjoy staring at computer screens and looking at printouts of spreadsheets. I'm like, dude, this is why I outsourced to you professionals. Those tests and programs were awful.
Yes, they were. And I didn't want to be a marketing major, because it seemed like they were always doing projects. They always had these huge projects they were doing outside of class. So I prefer marketing to finance now.
But then you got into marketing.
Yes, exactly. Because Jay Abraham, you know Jay Abraham?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in 1989, he was taking out 16-page ads in Entrepreneur magazine. And I just devoured those things.
Wow.
Because he was selling his 15,000. He was advertising his $15,000 a protege program. So you could go to a seminar and be like him and be a little marketing consultant. I paid him $2,000 that I didn't have as a college senior, put it on a credit card, and I got 20 or 30 pounds worth of books in the mail that I still have. So,
Jay Abraham, isn't his nickname like the billion dollar man, right?
Something like that. Yeah, he certainly.
That's one of his nicknames.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, hold on, I'm Googling it right now. Let's do some screen sharing, ladies and gentlemen, because this goes on YouTube. We haven't even shown off your landing page for now, but hey, right, Jay Abraham, here's entrepreneur.com. And yeah, right there, they have in quotes, the billion dollar man, being a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one of his nicknames. And since I'm already screen sharing, I'll make sure we tag him in the show notes. Try and see if we could drive some name association between your brand and his brand. Who knows?
Right.
We get you a few more clicks.
Oh boy, look at that. Uh-oh.
Page up, Adventures in Rejection. Here's a sales and marketing 101, people.
Uh-oh.
If you have a domain and you have a brand you want to launch, buy the freaking domain and put something up, or launch the Facebook page and just direct the URL there. I don't care. Just exist. Like that's my key word I'm pushing for the past couple of years. I don't know if you want to agree or disagree, Leo. It's like, if you believe in something, you think it's going to go somewhere, buy the domain. And then when you get a chance, just get it up, like have it connect somewhere, because you never know who's going to find it, click it. But if it doesn't go anywhere, why did you even bother?
Right. I got it. Well, now that you say that, I have lots of domain names that I don't have anything on, but I'll put something on some of them.
Hey, you know what? So like, for example, I own scottmulvaney.com. I'm finishing editing my first book now. I will probably finally put up an author site eventually, because I've already been published like 6 times in a magazine, a networking magazine here in Pennsylvania as well. But so I'll probably like build a brand. I tell people all the time, like, either have your brand or you have your name as your brand, right? So clearly you've been rocking Leo Quinn for a long time. Right. So clearly, hopefully you own your name, or if there's a middle initial mixed in or whatever. Yes. But I tell people, if you're not ready to launch a separate site, just point all the domains at your core brand. So if they ever use any of those domains, they at least know that that's all you.
Right, right. There's actually a corporate.
Goes there.
Yeah, there's a corporate CEO in the UK somewhere that I sometimes get confused for on Twitter. He's probably mad that I got to Leo Quinn before he did, but if he's listening, I'd be willing to sell it for the right offer.
There you go. Well, I mean, I think there's a politician now named Scott Mulvaney.
Oh, so, there you go.
But I've made sure years ago that I started differentiating myself with the W.
Okay.
And I've been around long enough that I actually outrank all other Scott Mulvaneys. So,
all right.
But here's my hack. When LinkedIn was founded, I put a profile up.
Did you?
That's back in probably, it was early 2000s. So it was after you started your company, LinkedIn kind of really kicked into gear.
Right,
so
right.
That's why I tell people, like, man, the keyword richness of that site is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so back to Adventures in Rejection.
Sure.
So clearly you're having fun doing this. Why else would you use the word adventure? I mean, I'm all about living adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is one of the most fun rejections that you've had, or most adventurous? Adventurous.
I'll tell you, it happened last week. I have a pretty good lip on my drive into my garage.
Okay.
And so the blacktop is settled after many years, and I want to get it fixed. So I was driving by some guys who were putting in a new parking lot over at an apartment complex. And I thought to myself as I was driving by, I wish they'd give me a bucket of that stuff so I could just fix the lip in my garage. I said, wait a minute, that's a perfect opportunity to get a no. So I turned the car around and I went up, I parked the car, I walked over to there's a guy rolling up on a steamroller. I said, I had $10 on me. I said, if I gave you $10, would you fill up half my bucket? He goes, let me check with my nephew. So he rolls his steamroller away. I'm standing out there in the middle of the street for 5 minutes while he comes back and he says, just buy the guy some beer. I said, well, what kind? He goes, a 36-pack of Miller Lite and a 36-pack of Coors Light.
Well, that's more than $10.
72 beers for 5 guys. I think he wanted me to wanted me to buy the beer for the company picnic.
Clearly. So
I turned down his counteroffer. I was in a hurry. I really didn't have time to make a beer run. I was hoping just to get a bucket of the stuff and go. So I turned down his counteroffer and counted that as a no. So that was probably my most fun no so far.
Well, I like that, because actually there's a private alley behind my property here. I have a huge garage and I rent out space for people who have really nice cars, because I have a very big garage. And the township is technically responsible for these roadways, even the old private alleys.
Okay.
And they just, even though our taxes are through the roof, they have never touched this alley in probably 30, 40 years.
Wow.
So I am going to fix it because I don't like having potholes, and it's pouring down rain this week, and I just have mud hole. It's god awful. So I just had a guy completely re-excavate our property. I'm just going to come back. And anyway, I said, I don't mind spending. The guy quoted me like $750. And I said, okay, not a big deal. And I said, well, listen, this is the material I want to use. I know you do it your way, but I know this stuff is cheaper. What is your thought? I wasn't really trying to go for the no. I just want to get his feedback. He's like, well, no, he said, let me do one better. He said, I'm going to say no to that. I'm like, okay. He's like, but I could tell you're a guy who cares a lot about quality. I'm like, okay, yeah, you could be trying to upsell me. I don't know. He's like, but actually, I know guys. I used to work for a huge excavating company. And he's like, if you're not against it, let me just, is your timeline tight? And I said, no, take all the time you need. As long as it's done before the winter, I'm cool. I've had it, for years. What do I care? Yeah. So he comes back and says, this is why maybe sometimes you got to shoot around for the nose and let people kind of take their time, because he comes back, he's like, actually, I know a guy who works for the state. So every time they go through and they grind up a road, they recycle the ground up asphalt.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, and they put brand new asphalt down, but then they take the old stuff away. Yeah. Well, he's like, I can get that stuff for free. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I might be able to get enough to literally redo the entire alley. And I'm the 5th property up on the alley. So I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that in the next couple of months, you're going to roll in with a triaxle wagon, like huge, like loads of ground up old asphalt, and pack it all down and bulletproof this sucker more than even I wanted it? He's like, yeah. I was like, sold. Take all the time you need.
Yeah. Wow.
So kind of where I'm going with this is that I wanted to use like recycled concrete, stone, whatever. Anyway, it's not about the material. I'm trying to tie this back to who you are and what you're doing, because I actually was just testing him to see if he'd come back and one-up me or whatever, because I know what you're talking about. Like, I've dealt with a lot of rejection. I tell people, like, in the sales process, probably the most successful contracts I've landed or you've landed are the ones that probably took 10, 12 follow-ups. But most people give up in the first 3 to 4 no's. And usually the bigger the project or the bigger the potential, the more no's you're going to get, or the longer the timeline is, because it's such a massive undertaking. It's a legit sale or a legit contract or whatever. Right. I know we're talking very business related, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm ashamed to say that I really bent over backwards not to hear no. I'm a lumpy mail guy. Dan Kennedy, Dan Kennedy. I have sent live working cell phones to people, baby bottles, boomerangs, you name it. I have pretty much sent it in the mail. I have never once followed up with a phone call to say, hey, I'm the guy that sent you the baby bottle. I'm the guy that sent you the phone. I've never done that because I didn't want to hear no. I've sent plenty of emails that weren't responded to, but never picked up the phone.
So to clarify, that was your old ways, right?
That's right. Yes, exactly.
So literally this project is actually recreating how you do things.
Absolutely. And I saw a thing on the internet yesterday. A guy had got a bunch of plastic pigeons. No, he just got one plastic pigeon. He put his message, he taped his message to the plastic pigeon and mailed it just as the pigeon. No box, no bag. He mailed the pigeon. So, and he got the appointment that he was looking for. So now I'm on the hunt for life-size plastic pigeons that I will attach mail to. And then I will definitely follow up if they don't call me. Hey, I'm the guy that sent you the pigeon.
You just went just to test it out. Exactly.
Oh, I think it's a winner. Definitely.
Well, it's kind of like, really, it's not about the pigeon. It's that symbolism of, it's no, they don't use pigeons. There's the ones you tie a note to. What is that breed of bird?
Message in a box. Oh, no, that's it.
Messenger birds.
Messenger pigeon. The passenger pigeon.
Yeah, there is a special breed of pigeon you can train. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, there you go. Messenger pigeons.
And I actually think there are companies that will actually do that. As I was looking for plastic pigeons, I would find companies that actually would send a real pigeon. I don't want to get into that. But.
Well, I like it because let's build it out. Obviously, we don't always have to be talking about health, business, and lifestyle, but this actually applies to healthy lifestyle balance too, right? Have you seen this kind of cast out? I mean, clearly you were doing this not just for a life growth perspective, I don't think, but obviously the business growth. But right. Have you seen this carry over in more personal components of your life?
Oh, I don't know. Good question. I guess I'm more brave, I suppose. And that part of that comes with age, I think. I'm 51 now. So certainly care much less about what people think of me from
I'm
this angle.
I don't care what people think about me. So yeah.
Yeah. Certainly looks like I have a good amount of hair from this angle, but if you're at certain angles, it doesn't. That used to bother me. It doesn't bother me anymore. So long-term relationships. So it's not a matter of me going out to bars and trying to pick up women.
Sure.
That's not allowed, I don't think. Yeah, it's. I've enjoyed the process so far. I look forward to an autumn of 1,000 no's, or maybe an autumn of 2,000 no's. Who knows?
Interesting. Okay. Well, I like it because, I mean, this is not a romance show, but this totally ties back to the good old, I don't care how old you are. The dating world, for example, you kind of like joked around about it. Guess what? There's going to be a no.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's multiple no's. I've joked around. I'm now married as of March, but like my wife broke up with me. I mean, so before we ever got engaged. So I had to win her back. I mean, so I went through a few no's over about 3 months.
Okay.
Until she finally agreed to even just meet up with me again, and we'd have a talk, and just to see if it was even worth going any further.
Sure.
And we agreed that if we were going to consider it, it would be a whole new chapter. Like, you know, that first year of me being a jackass doesn't count. And we, you know, because I didn't really give us a shot. So I was very closed off. I wasn't willing to be vulnerable. Wasn't really to embrace the openness, all that stuff. But the point is, like, I mean, I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. Dating world changes a little bit, obviously, with age and wisdom and experience, but a no is a no.
Yeah.
Right?
And there are guys out there that, you know, they're just going to go up to every girl in the bar, and he's going to get slapped a lot, but he's going to get a lot of dates too.
You know, obviously, you know, let's pause on that. That is not really the go for no we're looking for here.
Right. Just saying.
Yeah.
As an example.
There are a few. But there's definitely a few out there. But, you know, put effort into, put quality, you know, and don't be afraid to follow up. Like sometimes if you meet a cool girl or guy, whoever's listening to this, and they're with a circle of friends and they're busy, they're probably going to say no because they're busy. Like, that doesn't mean they're rejecting you. It's like, I'm hanging with my friends. Thanks for hitting on me. I appreciate it. But like, you know, you might have a chance to follow up with her, he or she, in the next week if you see her again. Like, it doesn't mean a no-no. And sometimes it's kind of like, I'm just trying to really tap into your brand here, because it's like, there's an adventure here, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't go in. It's like that soft approach that you were mentioning earlier about the life insurance. Say, listen, I know with your friends and you're busy and all, but I'd really like to talk to you some more. Don't want to bother you any more than that. How about you exchange numbers, or we find a way to follow up at another time? Yeah. Right? That's better than just saying, hey, I want to go buy you a drink, you know? And like, no, I already have a drink, and I already have plenty of friends buying me drinks. I don't need you.
Yeah, right, exactly. Maybe you have a funny business card that says, and then you put a number on there. You're the 7th girl I've talked to tonight, or whatever.
There you go. But this is important to talk about in life, because there is clearly a psychological connection on this. And I don't care if you're not into sales and you're not into marketing, and let's cut dating out of it. I mean, there's so much growth that comes from breaking that down. And you're talking about it right now. You yourself at 51 are growing and challenging yourself to grow some more just by embracing the no's.
When you're buying a car, is that the best price you can do? Same for buying any high ticket item. Is that the best price you can do? All they can say is no. They don't want to lose the sale, so they're going to work to keep you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Especially nowadays, because everybody's a self-taught learner. They're all going on and doing the car research and everything else. Yeah. I used, for years, my friends used to bring me in to go help them buy the car.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wouldn't take the crap. Right. And I'm like, listen, you can keep telling me that you guys already have it at the best price. But I was like, you either want the sale or we leave. And more often than not, people are afraid to walk out.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many deals I've walked out on. And then they chase me for a week. And then I may come back or I may not. I mean, my current vehicle is because I went to one dealership, same year, same car. They danced me around for like a week. Called another dealership. I didn't even call them. I emailed them. I said, here's the car. Here's what I was looking at over at this guy. You're half an hour away, but this is what I want to spend. This is what I'm going to put down. If you can actually meet my bare minimums, I'll come meet with you. And they said, absolutely. Come by tomorrow. Right. And I bought the car from them because the other dealership was do-si-doing me. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm a businessman. Let's do a deal. You know, either you want the business or not.
Right. And some people are uncomfortable they feel it's too hardball probably. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes I feel like it's kind of a game too, because like again, guys like us, like we have a little bit of experience under our belt. We'll play the game.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. Come on.
Got to go talk to the manager.
Yeah, that's to your point though. Why not go for the no?
Yeah.
Let's see how far you can get them closer to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know people who say, you know what, I could care less. It's only it's only $500 or more. Well, hey, that's $500 more that are still in your pocket.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And there's people have asked me, do you recommend that people, if you're doing something like I do, tell people what you're doing? So encourage them to give you a no. And I think so, because all salespeople have wasted millions of hours on the maybes, and the maybes are just afraid to say no. They're afraid to be mean. They're afraid to reject you. Whereas if you tell them, hey, rejection is okay, I'm looking for rejections, they're going to be more likely to be straight with you and say, oh, okay, I'm going to pass. So I think be open and honest when you have a project like this one, and say, and as I did in my email to you, is, feel free to be no number 338, I think it was.
Yeah, I do remember that. Actually, when my team sent me over the email, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, I was like, that was a while ago.
Yes. Yeah. So people are, I think if you give them permission to tell you no, you're going to get a lot less maybes.
Well, I found it kind of refreshing. And that's the only reason why I'm glad again, here's the point. If you had not have followed up, I might not have caught the fact, because this is a whole new chapter of my podcast business, is that I always ran point on everything. I was OCD, and I'm like, listen, like any other great business coach will teach us. It's like, guys, like you can only do so many things. You only wear so many hats. Eventually you got to hand things off. Well, it's 3 years into podcasting now. I'm busy. There's now agencies sending me potential people to come on the podcast. So I needed somebody to filter this stuff. I'm like, dude, podcast does not make me money. I've landed a couple clients from it, but like, this is not my income stream. This is me I want to put a platform out there that gives back to the world. This is free content, ladies and gentlemen. Most podcasts out there, hello, we're, Leo and I are spending time talking for your benefit. Hoping that people take something away from this. This is free. Right. So this is how you build value in your brand. You give enough free quality content away, eventually things will come back, I believe, tenfold. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is awkward. You're not paying me $100 to be here?
No, sorry.
Darn it. Yeah. I got to know out of you anyway.
No.
No, yeah, it's, I agree. It's most people aren't wired like we are. Mm-hmm. They don't want to disappoint people. They don't want to, bother people with asking for a no. They'd really just, take it or give you a maybe and be gone, and you chase after them forever. So it's, I think our way is probably a better way to do it.
Yeah. And then, well, again, we didn't always know this was the potential better way to do it.
Right.
We had to start figuring this out.
Well,
and that kind of brings me full circle back to my little point earlier. I wasn't trying to rip on the millennials or the younger generation. I was trying to kind of make sure they were listening. Yeah. Because this is what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm Gen X. Are you on the upper echelon of Gen X? I don't even know how that all works anymore.
I was born in 67, so I'm not a baby boomer, so whatever's after baby boomer.
So yeah, Y and Gen X got like absorbed into each other. So we are in the same world. So, but my point is that I learned from a great influencer a long time ago. They said, listen, you could acquire all the knowledge in the world. You could say you're the most knowledgeable person out there. You might have great quotes. You might be able to just quote and drop bombs like it's left and right. But they said, until you reach this echelon where you realize, wait a minute, what's the point of all this knowledge if I'm not passing it on? Mm-hmm. And that is one of the triggers that takes you to the stage of wisdom, is that true wisdom is being able to take it in, pass it on. And that's what I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to podcasting, is that's what I loved about podcasting. That's what got me to launch my own show. That's what I love, talking to people like you. That's why I don't interview anybody. You're the guest co-host. Mm-hmm. That's why. And from a marketing perspective, I want to be different. I'm like, I don't want you going out there and sharing and saying, oh, I got interviewed by Scott on LIVETHEFUEL. I'm like, no, dude, I'm giving you some authority. Leo, you're guest co-hosting the LIVETHEFUEL show. That's something different to market than just saying you got interviewed. So, anyway, just want to throw that out there because, again, to the millennials and the Z Gen or whatever is happening next, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pass on the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I would tell people is to be public about your commitment to getting no's or whatever it is. And the only reason I'm doing these podcasts and started the Facebook group is because I know, left to my own devices, if I had just decided to get 1,000 no's and not told anybody about it, I wouldn't be on number 539 right now.
Well, you know what you're doing. You're taking advantage of that social exposure or that social media, and you're using it to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
That's what I like about it. You basically are creating your own self-accountability.
Right.
Because that way you don't think someone's going to call you out, but if you got a few friends and followers, they might follow up like, hey, man, whatever happened with that? You're like, oh, crap. That's right. I put it out there.
Right.
Gotta keep going. Gotta get to those.
And it helps on days like Saturday. Saturday, I needed to get 12, and Sunday I needed to get 12. And I previous weeks I'd been able to get Saturday and Sunday numbers by Fridays, but this weekend I had to call on Saturday, and I didn't want to do it. I was trying to figure out, well, if I added 24 to the numbers this week, I'd have to get, instead of 12, 17 a day.
Yeah, now you're passing it down. You're getting that pile-up effect.
Right. So, but on Saturday I started calling. Instead of 12, I got 19. So I was very happy with just getting started every day. And it's something that some of the podcasters I've talked to want to talk to me at the end of the 1,000, and I want to have a good story to tell. So that keeps me motivated, the public aspect of it.
Well, speaking of no's, just real quick, because we are coming towards the end of the show soon, but before I forgot about it, you do have a few other podcasts mentioned on your adventures in rejection.com.
Yes.
So what was the no counts for these? Were they all yeses right away?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And actually, Christine Schlonsky there, she had me on 56 minutes after she got the email.
Wow.
She wanted to see how quickly I could respond to a yes.
Okay. Wow. I like it. That's crafty.
Yes. Yeah. And if you
join up the thoughts here.
If you refresh your screen, you'll see my updated number. That if people see, I was looking at my screen while you were talking.
Okay. There we go. 539, rocking and rolling. I like it.
And that's a name tag that I wear around when I do local networking because it gets people talking, and I might get some no's out of them. By
the way, smart idea. Okay, if you are going to slap a name tag on, be creative. Do something that creates a conversation. There's enough business cards out there.
Right, exactly.
It's overwhelming and exhausting. So I literally don't carry around business cards when I go. I literally, that magazine that I've written for 6 times now is called Network Magazine. And they have launch parties. And the real estate people from across the room, because they're out there just passing out business cards. I'm like, guys, please update your profession. Like, I know a lot of modern real estate people who don't do that, but they're few and far between.
Yes.
And it's just the way it's always been. It's like those classic Chamber of Commerce networking events. It's like, guys, let's freshen it up a little bit.
I'm thinking of going to one tomorrow, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Freshen it up. Wear that 539 badge. Unless you bang out a few more no's tonight. I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
I'm gonna get 540 something before I go to bed. So I've got a busy day tomorrow, so I want to get ahead a little bit.
There you go. Proactive. I like that. Not letting it pass on.
I can give you the podcast numbers. I sent exactly 100 outreaches.
Whoa. Just podcasts?
Just podcasts, yes.
100 different podcasts.
Yes.
That's hustle.
Yep. And I've gotten 43 responses.
Okay.
Of those responses, 20 were no's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 were, I'll think about it, and the rest were yeses. So
now, were most of those all shows that you found thanks to Google that had Go for No on them, or they were just?
No, okay. Yes. Most of them I just searched for Go for No, and then Andrea Waltz.
Yeah.
And she's aware of this.
Well, it's smart.
She's happy with my progress and is keeping an eye on things.
That's good. I mean, you were inspired by her book.
Yeah.
You were inspired by clearly motivated by the words you read. Did you read it or audio listen?
Oh, I read the book. Yeah.
Okay. I became such a big audiobook geek recently, but there's a lot of gurus out there that still believe in the power of the written and read word. So sure. There's certain books that aren't available in audiobooks, so it still forces me to physically sit down and read a book. So,
well, have your team read it and record it, and then you can listen to that.
Right. Exactly. Well, see, that's just not the same either. But
I know.
But yeah, I mean, because honestly, I can't wait to finish editing my book because then I can't wait because I have all the sound gear here, so I can't wait. I'm not going to go pay somebody's high-end studio. Dude, get out of here. I was like, I've already had people tell me that my audio on this show is better than a lot of other podcasts, and I'm like, and I'm no John Lee Dumas or
right.
But hey, yeah, take pride in what you do. So
right.
So what's next, man? I mean, obviously you're going for the 1,000. But I mean, now you're way past the halfway mark.
Yeah.
Has there been like other things that have kind of surfaced or inspired you, or kind of going on the pending checklist that you're going to do next? What's happening?
Well, yes, I want to. Most of the no's of these 539 have been on the phone.
Okay.
I've conquered my fear of the phone. I really need to get more in-person no's, and I want to get back into the lumpy mail and then follow up.
Lumpy mail. I like that.
Lumpy mail. So send the cell phone, then call. If they don't call me using the cell phone, call them up and say, hey, I'm the guy that sent you the cell phone. And, so actually do the follow-up, because I think I've left probably millions of dollars on the table just by not following up to all that. And
let's be real. I think a lot of us still do. I mean, we can say we've learned a lot, but there's still those periods of, I'll go ahead and call it laziness or absent-mindedness, and we know what to do right. But you're only human. People have good days, good weeks, bad weeks, good months, bad months. I like the fact that you hinted earlier about the power of getting social to hold yourself accountable. What are your thoughts on like business accountability partners, stuff like that? You do any of that?
Great idea. Before I started the calls, I was nervous because I came up with this idea on May 23rd. I made 10 calls on June 7th. So that's 14 days. It took me 2 weeks to build up the courage to make those first calls. So on June 7th, I made 10 calls. I talked to 3 people. I got 1 no.
Okay.
And then on the following Monday, the 10th of June, I made 100 calls. Regardless of I just was going to dial a phone 100 times and see what happened. I got 29 no's that first day. So before I did that, I was thinking of start doing no-a-thons, where three of us would get together on Zoom, and then I make a call, then you make a call, then you make a call, then I make a call, and do that sort of thing. I don't feel that I need to do that.
Are you doing that with your Facebook group community?
I wasn't. That was an idea I had when I hadn't done any. Now that I have overcome my fear of the phone, it's not something that I need, but it's something that I would recommend. If you should be on the phone calling people and you know other people that should be on the phone calling people, get together, do a Zoom, you make a call, they make a call, go in a circle. And so you've got an audience. I'm always much better with an audience in the hopes that I would make someone laugh.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, there's also the power of, if these are all different sales and marketing, I don't want to say competitors, but maybe colleagues, maybe you work for the same company. You get to hear each person's different style. Because I do a lot of coaching and training. I'm like, that's a great way. You may not have really listened to your fellow colleague on how they do it. And then you're literally just listening in.
Sure.
And even if you're just overhearing one side, you hear their voice demeanor, their inflection, the words that they choose, the vocabulary they choose. And then also you can add in another layer. Like after you're all done, maybe you all do a round and then you debrief each other.
Right.
Like, hey, what did you hear as a successful or takeaway, or how would you do this differently?
Right.
It becomes literally like a teamwork coaching session.
Exactly.
But also you got to be willing to drop those walls down and be willing to accept the criticism and
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're still doing some of that now, or
I haven't done any of it, but it was at the start. I thought it would be a good idea if I had trouble building up the courage to make the calls.
Well, keep going.
No, and after I made that day of 100 calls, it took me about 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Okay.
100 calls. And I decided it wasn't going to be a big deal for me to get 1,000 no's in the time frame. So I didn't think I had to put those groups together, but it's something I do recommend to people who know they should be making calls. They just are having trouble developing the courage.
I don't know, man. I say as you grow that community, I wouldn't put that against like putting that out there once in a while, maybe like once a month. Because that's like really, I could see that really growing some camaraderie amongst your community. And honestly, that's a billable service. Like
I was thinking.
You can always launch that as a private VIP inner circle.
Yeah.
And saying, guys, if you really are struggling and you really are looking for accountability, then, hey, this public community, that's free. You want to start doing this? I mean, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a businessman. Time is money. Yeah, I can't give everything away for free. Like that's me. I podcast, that's free. Yeah. If I do coaching sessions, I'm sorry. You want me to lock down an hour of my life? It's $100 an hour to start. Like, I mean, I have clients that try to charge way more for that too. But I'm like, dude, if you just want me to sit down and chat with you, I'm sorry. Like my time, I'd rather go mountain bike. Okay, I'd rather go, go skydiving. Like I love coaching and helping people, but that's not the core of my business. So if I'm gonna do it, people need to have skin in the game.
You're right.
Anything for free, they're not gonna respect it.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's great.
So you put skin in the game. And I'm sorry, I'm referring to financial skin, people. Okay, so put some money in the pot, invest in yourself, and see what you can get out of it.
Right, right.
So I
Try
think
it for a month.
you got something.
Love that idea. Love it.
Yeah. If nothing else, maybe you only do it for 1-2 months and you learn something else from it. It ends up creating a different service from that. You don't even know.
Yeah. Right, right.
That's the power of your audience. You already have a captive audience in that group. As it grows, you never know what's going to come out of it.
Right.
It's not about the quantity of the audience either, of that group. It's the quality of the group.
Correct. Correct.
I've been managing Facebook groups for years. I got one group that's got, oh God, close to 5,000 people in it. I have another group that has 500 people in it.
Okay.
It depends on the community or the sport or the business model that's being influenced from that. Mm-hmm. You know, some communities have become build communities. Some communities are still public. Some become closed communities where it's like, hey, there's already plenty of people in there. We're not letting anybody else in. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know how these things are growing. So
right.
That's a big thing in the Facebook world. I tell people all the time, like, if you think you're going to grow something off of your likes page, you gotta come there. Do it just to have the brand exposure. But right now, until Facebook figures out a way to start charging for the Facebook group management, Facebook groups are free. And for the most part, you're getting almost 100% exposure. When you post something in a Facebook group, everybody in that group is seeing that post in their newsfeed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. So
no, I didn't know.
One way to keep those posts up there is do not post external links in the Facebook world.
Okay.
So, like, for example, when I air this show, and you will get tagged and you'll get an email. Even though I appreciate the fact you're going to want to post the direct link to the LIVETHEFUEL.com blog post article for your show. Don't.
Okay.
You'll notice that when I post, if you beat me to the punch, I will repost you. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but when people post the image on Instagram, if they beat me to the punch, I repost it. But I include the URL in the message. But then because I have Instagram tied to Facebook, the image passes through. But it's not a direct link URL. Whereas, you know, in the Facebook world, if I type a URL, it'll load the page.
Right.
That's what Facebook doesn't like. The algorithms will say, oh, you're trying to take traffic away from the Facebook world. The Facebook beast wants you to stay in Facebook, live in its warm bosom. So your hack is, whatever the primary graphic is, and my team will make some nice graphics for your show, like every other episode, post the image. And then in your text, you know, write your tag, whatever you want to post, and then say, by the way, here's the link. Or wait, once you post it, and then just put the link in the comments. Okay. By the way, don't make that direct linked article. Just don't do it. Okay. Because they're starting to track that in the Facebook group world too. So
good. Thank you.
Professional feedback.
Perfect. So, thank you.
Yeah, I'm in some groups that are 20, 30,000 strong, and it's crazy. So actually, I know you're in the marketing side, but it's a great one called Sales Pros. Man, those guys, it gets a little dicey in there, but there's some good no examples in there. Okay, perfect. Actually, I got to find that real quick. You should look for that because that's I had him on the show probably 2 years ago, the guy who founded it. Sales Pros. Yeah, Sales Talk with Sales Pros. Oh, God, what's his name? Ryan Stewman. Yeah, the hardcore closer. He was on the show a while ago. So you couldn't beat a better community to talk about no's. Okay, perfect. So sometimes other people are just posting stuff in there about their sales best practices or whatever. But again, a sales professional is going to know the no's. So great. Well, I'm looking for more people who've done projects like this. They got 100 no's, or there's a lot of stories out there of writers who decided they wanted to get 100 rejections in a certain time frame. Oh, yeah. And how it always led to great articles being written. Yeah, actually, that's a smart move. Actually, I would say keyword searching the word rejection, you'll probably dig up a lot more content. Right. For some reason, that word just surfaced a lot more powerful for a lot of people than just the simple word of no. Right. I guess rejection just draws a much more negative connotation, so you get more usage of it. So. Right. Well, listen, we're approaching the end of the show. Okay. You're obviously the guest co-host. If you've listened to other shows before, I like to have you guys help close the show out. Some final words. Clearly, you're inspired by Go for No. We learned a lot about your now over 500 no's, approaching, 540 next, right? Yeah, 540. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be at 548. Okay. By the end. So that being said, what's some final words you want to leave behind? Something all encompassing, something, I don't know, motivational, inspirational.
Yep, absolutely.
What you got?
Couple things. Don't speak for someone. Let them give you the no. As an example, I was listening to a podcast, and the podcaster and his guest were talking about the sorry state of cold email, how they hate it, they get a ton of it, they can't stand it. And if I had heard that before I'd sent that guy a cold email, I probably would have said, he's not going to have me on. But I was on his podcast as a result of a cold email. So don't accept a no. Don't give somebody a no. Let them give it to you, or give them the chance to give you the no. And the final thing I'll leave with is, in all the research I've done, I've never found a story of someone who took on a legitimate rejection challenge and had a poor result. So take on the rejection challenge, whatever it is in your business, 100 rejections, 1,000, 10,000, do it, stick with it. And I bet you're going to have a positive result by the end.
I like it. I like it. Well, listen, hang tight. I want to pick up Papa Goodbye off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Leo. We got adventuresinrejection.com. I say follow it. Hey, he's got the Facebook group linked right on the actual page. It does take you to the Adventures in Rejection Facebook group. I just got done for fun just searching it. It does come right up. Actually, I'll go ahead and screen share that for the video feed. There it is. Summer of 1,000 No's.
There we go. There it
is. Just created right there. You're not kidding. May 28th, 2019. Yeah. So, yeah, you're not hiding it. Keeping it all out there. So,
got it.
But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. Leo Quinn helped us do it today. So why don't you get out there and get a few more no's in your life? And his final words were awesome and perfect. Those will be noted in the actual show notes like we always do. So if you get a chance and you want to copy and paste these and share it with other people, just go to LiveTheFuel.com and steal away. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. Remember, you too can live the fuel, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.